yeah, okay. Let's see if we can make this happen. What I'm going to do, I'll just talk you through it. I'll put a little intro in this before I get it going. This here's a head of cabbage. Go to your store, you get you some cabbage. I used to put a lot of stuff in here, carrots and all that, but it's just too much work. What I'm going to do is take this cabbage here. Cut a big section of it off. See if you can see that there. That's the cabbage. Take off some of the exterior beat up goodies there. That's how I clean it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Now I'm going to take it and chop it up in here. Almost like you'd chop up, not as fine as coleslaw, but similar. Chunks are okay, but it's easier when it's not. If you got big chunks like this, it's kind of tough to get it in and out of the jar. I'm going to get all those chopped up. And kind of get these apart. That ought to be way too much. Alright, now, what makes this different from other, usually when you think of fermented cabbage, you get something that's a lot like sauerkraut. A lot of people don't like sauerkraut. And depending on whether or not it was fermented or cooked, this is fermented. It's very similar to sauerkraut, but because I do this little thing right here, it makes it like something else. And I'll show you. Alright, this is a red onion. Okay, you got a wedge of it like that. I'm going to put this in there and chop it up just a little bit, just to break it up. Because we're putting this in a mason jar and you want to be able to get in and out. Get that stuff in there. Okay. Then I take, this is sea salt, rock salt. Okay. It works easiest for you. You can use any kind of salt, but you want non-iodized. Sea salt's got more minerals in it, supposedly. But you want the non-iodized. If it's iodized, this won't ferment properly. So they say you want to take a tablespoon. I don't like it too salty, but I'm going to go about a teaspoon there. Like that. Okay, I'm going to put this over it. Okay. And I don't know, I don't remember the science behind it. The salt and the juice from the cabbage is going to react. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I got this old stainless steel coffee mug here that I know it won't break. I'm going to beat this stuff up. And what's going to happen, well, if you're pounding on all this, the juice is going to come out of the the onion and the celery. Okay? And that juice is going to have a lot of quite a bit of sugar in it. The onion has quite a bit of sugar. That's what will change the flavor. It won't be quite so sour. It'll actually be almost like it's candied or something, and that's from the onion. You do it without the onion, it's just salty. Still healthy, but the onion's a big help. So I'll beat this up, just like that. This is bruising it and getting the moisture out of the two vegetables in here. It also makes it easier to get in the mason jar. This is a stainless steel bowl. You want something that won't break. And you don't have to do a lot of this, but I'll show you here. The more juice you can create, the quicker it goes. Smell them onions. Okay. Now, it looks like a beat to hell salad there, but it's a little more consistent. Now what's happened is we got this moisture coming out of the vegetables mixed in with that salt. Okay. Now what I got to do is I got to put it in a mason jar. Preferably get you a wide mouth mason jar. Otherwise, you're going to be working way too hard. Let's see here. And this is about the quickest way to do it. Spooning it in is almost impossible, but my hands are clean and I'm the only one eating it, so I really don't care. Okay, I'll put this in here like that. Make sure there's a I think that's almost perfect. Now what I'm going to do, there's a lot of salt and juice left in here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Okay. You can see what I did. It's not really stuffed, it's just kind of jammed in there. Okay, now we have well water. So if you had tap water, there's chlorine in it, then this won't work. Okay, but I'm going to fill this with water. I took and I had the remnants that are left in here, put the water in here. Like I said, this is just well water. Sometimes it'll push that stuff right out of there. As you're pouring it in, it wants to lift everything out. But I'm going to get that water. Let's see, where is it at? Where's my level? I'm about 2/3 of the way. I got to put more water in there. Okay. I want all that cabbage under that water. Okay, that's about maxed out right there. Now what some people will do is they'll take the core out of this thing, this cabbage. Let me cut this out of here. You could probably do the same thing with an onion. We'll take the core like this, and we'll sit that on top of there. Okay? What that's going to do, that's going to hold the majority of your stuff down under that water. Otherwise, what you do is some stuff will float to the top and it'll get a real nasty color. And if it does, don't worry, just pick that off. But if I put this in here like that, and then I put the lid on it, it's going to push that down. Okay, so all the vegetables down in the water now. There's something important you got to realize. Now, if I'm going to do a whole bunch of these, which I plan to, I won't have enough of these cores. I'll actually use a golf ball. Clean a golf ball, set it inside there, and it'll push everything back down. Okay? What you got to do is you got to keep this thing loose where it can breathe. Okay? It's still on there. It's still pushing everything down, but it can breathe this way. The reason is this thing will gas up. It's going to ferment, okay, for 3 days. Depending on your temperature outdoors, it usually takes 3 days. It'll go milky gray in color. All right, and but like I said, you can't keep this. Some people just put a towel over. You want it to breathe. Otherwise, this whole thing could blow up like a grenade. So you really don't want to do it in your house. Yeah, keep this loose because I'm going to keep this outdoors because this will stink like a mother. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'll put it in a plastic bag and set it outside. I put it in a plastic bag and tie it off so the flies don't play with it. That gets real gross. But anyhow, what it's going to do is for 3 days, maybe 4, it'll ferment. On the 3rd day, the 4th day, I'll go outside, I'll take the lid off, take that core out, any ugly piece on top will toast. It will stink right there. It's like, whoa, what is this? And then I'll put the lid back on it tight and put it in the fridge. You could eat it right then, but usually it smells too bad. The next day, taste it. Stuff you can't beat. It's delicious. And it'll stay in your fridge for, I've had them, I had one I forgot about, was in there for 9 months, tasted great. Otherwise, in 2 weeks, I eat them all. I go through these like a son of a gun. But I'll put down the health benefits that come with this. You can't beat this for if you got a bad stomach issue, or if you've been on antibiotics, or you're chewing tobacco, or you got your system jacked up. I'll put a little note at the beginning of this. But this is hugely beneficial. 90% of your immune system is your gut, and your gut operates around the bacteria floating around there. If your gut's out of whack, you're out of whack. Like I said, beat up the cabbage, add a little bit of red onion with some rock salt, non-iodized, beat it all up, stuff it in there, get it all under water, give yourself a little core there to hold it down and keep this thing loose, and then I'll bag it and then set it somewhere where you can't smell it for 3 days. And then after that, it's good to go. This is homemade medicine. Love you. Okay, I've got to show you a little trick here. Bingo.